Hey YouTube, I'm back again with another video. I'm in traffic and I'm thinking, so you know, y'all my carpool buddies. So now when I think, I have somebody to talk to. So hopefully you guys enjoy these kind of videos. If not, I'm gonna hit you with these thoughts anyways. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta love me through every video. But anyways, the topic that came to mind was forgiveness. And we hear a lot about forgiving people. Oh, forgive. You know, it's the right thing to do. And I think we throw that word around because it just sounds good. But you know, when you're by yourself and you have time to think, you know deep down in your heart whether you've really forgiven somebody or not. You know if you're harboring, you can feel when you're really still harboring bitterness, even if your mouth may say, like, you know, I truly forgive this person. You can still feel it in your heart when you don't, you know. So I know I'm kind of all over the place because, again, I don't plan these things, but I'm gonna say, you know, I know forgiveness is a process. Like, the first thing you want to do is confess with your mouth, like, you know what, I'm going to forgive and I'm going to let go. And at first you may not be genuine about what you're saying. Like, at first you may feel like deep down inside, like, no, I don't really forgive this person, you know, but you at least want to first confess with your mouth, like that's what you want to do. And you want to ask God to heal your heart and to truly allow you to let go, and not just say it with your mouth, but to mean it with your heart. So that's the first step in forgiving somebody. So I guess this is what this video will be about, like steps we can use, practical steps, because, you know, we've all had to forgive somebody in our life that's wronged us, you know, and you just might be sitting at home thinking, like, how do I go about this? Like, this person hurt me, I can't believe they did it, or what they did to me I didn't deserve, you know, why me? And I just want to give you a couple things to think about when forgiving a person. So again, the first thing you want to do is, again, you know, let God know what you're feeling, why you're mad at the person, what they did to you, and how it made you feel. And let God, you know, pour out to him. We're not going to take away from your feelings or how you feel, you know. Give yourself that grieving process. Give yourself that time to be angry or sad or whatever it is that you're feeling, or betrayed or rejection. So I think that's the first step to the process. So after you've given yourself, you know, some time to get that out of your system or whatever, I would say, and these are just this is just my opinion and what I've done and what's helped me. Everybody, you know, may be different. The second thing that I would say you should do is, you know, I hear some people say write it down on a piece of paper. This is the same thing as crying out to God, but if you must, you know, write it down. Write these things down, journal it, you know, tear it up, throw it away, burn it up, whatever it is you have to do to get it out of your system. Release it, or talk to a trusted person if you feel comfortable doing that. And I would think that would be the best next step, which I've done journaling, you know, writing down how I feel and just reading, you know, looking back and reading over what you wrote. Sorry if you guys can't see me, the sun is like shifting, but I like to journal, and then once some time has passed and I feel myself making progress, I like to go back over what I read. And when you do that, it gives you time, it allows you to see, you know, how far you've come. Because, you know, you may still feel that pain, you may still feel that rejection or that betrayal, but when you read those journal entries and then you really think about where you are now that you're looking back on the entry, you know, give yourself credit of how far you came. I don't think that I think a lot of times we don't give ourselves credit for how far we've come, or that, you know, we just look at the situation like, you know what, I'm gonna never get over this, like I'll never heal from this situation. But if you just take it one day at a time and really look back on those journal entries, you will see the progress. You know, you may not feel the same. What you may write in journal today may be completely different from what you wrote in journal, you know, days or weeks ago. So I think that's the next step. If you're not like a big journaler, if that's a word, if you don't like to write a lot or whatever, find other ways of outlet. Find another outlet, you know, like one of my outlets is music. You know, I like to write if I'm feeling a certain way. I like to write poetry, write songs. I like to draw, make things. Like, I guess that will lead into number 3. It kind of ties into number 2. But number 3 would be to pretty much pick up a hobby. And I know when you hear that, you hear a lot of people say that, like, start focusing on you and live your life and do what you love doing. But how many of you really, like, go out and do it? Like, when you hear it, you just think, oh, they just saying that. But think about why a lot of people say the same things. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just brush it off and be like, oh, that's just so cliche. That's not going to heal my heart, or that's not going to heal what I'm feeling. But doing what you love is therapy. And you know why it's therapy? Because God put that in you to fulfill you, to fulfill your purpose. Or, you know, those gifts, more than likely, they link to your purpose. That's why they make you feel good. That's why people tell you, you know, when you're heartbroken or when you've been rejected or betrayed, to start focusing on you, to start loving yourself, and to start picking up new hobbies and learning new trades and just doing things that keep busy and make yourself feel better. That's why people tell you to do that, because the gifts that were planted inside of you are what God knew would help not only fulfill purpose but make you feel whole. If you notice, most people that genuinely pursue their purpose and they're successful in whatever it is that they do, they're typically happier, whole people. So pick up hobbies. Like I said, I like to write music. I like to write poetry. These videos are therapeutic. You know, a lot of things that I'm telling you guys, obviously I've applied already, or I'm applying. You know, I'll never get on here and talk about something that I haven't been through, or, you know, I'm not experiencing. I'm not going to just be throwing advice out and expect other people to do it and then I don't do it. So, again, hobbies work. I love dancing, you know what I'm saying? I might put on some old Beyonce. I'm more into the old music or whatever. And just, you know, she brings that inner femininity out, you know. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But I like that, you know. Listen to some positive music. That's why I say I like more like of her older songs. Listen to something that's more positive and uplifting, and it makes you feel good. You know, don't listen to the sad love songs or anything that reminds you of betrayal or hurt or rejection. Just don't listen to it. Listen to I listen to a lot of gospel. I think I've said in another video, Smokey Norfolk, he's like my favorite. That's pretty much mostly what I listen to, because he still gives me that R&B feel. Like, I love R&B music, and he just does that for me. That's the type of, you know, church music I want to hear. You know, I want to hear something that has that R&B vibe to it. So he's a good person to check out if you're looking for somebody to start off with. So yeah, getting into your passions. Dancing makes me feel good. I love to dance, which I just mentioned. Again, to get your body going. You don't want to dance, you know, working out, I hear, is good. It releases endorphins, so people do that. Anything that just gets you going, that keeps you out of that state where you're just like in a slump or whatever, that's what you want to do. So the next thing that I would recommend is maybe joining a support group. You know, that's the good thing with social media now, because you can connect with other people going through what you're going through. You know, even though I have my I feel like there's a lot of ways social media can affect you negatively. I feel like if you use it in a positive way, there's some some good upsides if you use it the right way. And Facebook, I joined like a couple, Christian groups, or something that'll help uplift me, or join groups with people that are like myself or like-minded. So I would recommend that, because you have people that you can relate to, that's going through what you're going through, so you don't feel alone. You need to hear other people going through it, so basically you're not alone, like basically what I just said. So and usually these are like closed private groups, so it ain't like everybody's in your business. It's just the people that are intentional, that join those groups, and they're going through what you're going through, and they can give you words of encouragement throughout the day. A lot of these groups, I see they'll post like Bible scriptures, or they'll just tell jokes, or will pray for you, and that makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you have a second family. When you're at home and you're alone, and maybe there's nobody around at that moment, it's good to log in and get into these groups and see what's going on. So that would be another tip. Then another big thing I like to do is I like to search on YouTube testimonies of people that have went through something similar to what I went through. So we'll just throw an example. Like, say that you're somebody that may have been raped or molested or abused or heartbroken, rejected, or your parents gave you up when you were younger. Just anything. The number one thing that makes me feel good, first what I do is, it always links to the Bible. I go, and you can Google, or you can look in the back of the Bible, and you can look up a word, healing, and then you'll look in the index of the Bible, it'll say healing, and then it'll give you the page number to all the scriptures that have to do with healing. So if you don't have access to a Bible, or you haven't gotten one or whatever, you could go Google it, and you can Google scriptures on healing, scriptures on pain, scriptures on hurt, or abandonment. Go look up those scriptures, read them, and meditate on them. That's the number one thing you should do. That's the number one thing that every time, it's like literally when I'm reading, I feel like I'm being healed in the process. That's why they say the Bible's like a two-edged sword, and the word is alive. It's like as I'm reading, I literally start feeling better. It may not completely take away the pain, but it starts chipping away at it, and it's helping you it helps you to unharden your heart and to forgive, because you just see how much God loves you and how much he's forgiving you and have mercy on you. As many times as we've turned our back and disobeyed what he said, and we've rejected and abandoned and turned our back on him, it helps us be open-minded and extend that same mercy and grace to someone else. So do that first. Then once you've done that, I like to go on YouTube and I like to search other people's testimonies. So I watch testimonies of every area, like I said earlier in the video, if you've been raped or molested, I've never experienced that, but I still like to watch videos of other people that it's happened to, and just to see how God has helped them overcome. Like, that's powerful to me, because I can only imagine the trauma and what type of hurt that could feel like, and then to see God come through for them, that's really inspiring for me. It makes me want to pray for that person, number one, pray for protection of myself and those around me, and it's just uplifting to see people go through a tragedy and how God has turned their life around and has saved them, and that's powerful to me. So, and then if you're somebody that went through that same type of trauma, you can relate to that, and to see somebody else overcome it, it gives you hope. Like, what, if they can get through it, I went through the same thing, I can get through it too. It wasn't my fault, I didn't deserve it, and God can use my testimony to change someone else's life, to help other victims that feel like they can't speak out, or to feel like nobody believed them and they don't have anywhere to turn to, and that God has forgotten about them. You could be that voice in their life. And I think, that helps you to also heal and to forgive during that process as well. So it's healing for you and it's healing for other people. Like I said, if you've been rejected or heartbroken, which I'm pretty sure a lot of us have experienced that, again, I like to go watch other people's testimony that have been through that same thing as well. And I can connect and I can relate to that. And I see, what, they made it through that. And there's times I feel like I wasn't going to make it through. And they showed me I can. They showed me there is a way out. And then I see, sorry about the lighting, y'all, if you can't see me. The sun. I see, they've made it out and I can make it out too. And God can still use me even through all the mistakes that I've made. So, I think once we begin to do those things, it makes it a little bit easier to forgive. And for me, how I know that I've truly forgiven somebody is when I can look at them and not feel any bitterness, any hate, or any anger. That I can genuinely look at them and want the best for them. So if you're wondering, well, how do I truly know I've forgiven this person and I'm not just saying it with my mouth? And that's one of the sure signs that you have forgiven this person truly and genuinely, when you can look at them and not wish any harm on them. You can pray for them and genuinely, just want to see God help them and do better in life, And another thing that I like to think about that helps me, and I know sometimes it's hard, we don't want to put ourselves in that person's shoes, because we're like, they're just, they don't deserve my forgiveness, and they this and they that. We have to think about, okay, how was this person raised? What have they gone through in their childhood to make them grow up and do what they've done? You know what I'm saying? If you grew up the way they grew up, if you were in their shoes, you would probably be acting up and cutting out in the same way they were. Or did somebody do to them what they're doing to you? Like, I know it's hard to think like that when we're the victim, but we have to realize that we were all babies, we're all infants, we're all children, and our life events have led up to why we are the way we are today. And again, this is not giving them an excuse to do what they've done and say it's okay, but it's just a way to start getting you to open up and think, okay, why are people evil? Some people are genuinely evil, or why do people do a lot of things that they do? Is this a mental thing? Is it something that's happened to them that causes them to do it to other people? Like, we have to think, keep these things in mind, and it'll, I don't want to say people don't know better, because we're like, no, they grown, they know better, and people do know better. A lot of times people do know what they're doing and they don't care, or for whatever reason, but there's a reason still that they are the way they are and they think the way they think. There's events in their life that have led up to this point of why they are the way they are. So, like I said, this is not easy. I'm not making it sound easy. Some things has taken me years to forgive. And people say, it shouldn't take that long. You shouldn't hold grudges that long. You shouldn't be that way. But I'm just being honest. There's been things that in situations where I've been mad at for years, and I'm just now letting go and forgiving. And I'm just telling you, things that I've done in the process that now when somebody offends me, these steps speed up the process of me forgiving. And then the last important reason of why you want to forgive is not even really so much for them, it's for yourself. Because you're walking around bitter and angry, thinking all type of thoughts in your head, and it's really just ruining your day. Like, every time you see them, you just disgusted, like your whole day is killed. And they walking around cheesing with a smile on their face, ain't even budging or caring about nothing about how you're feeling. Like, you killing your own health, you burdening your own body. So not only have they offended you in the past and wronged you, now you could pretty much say they affecting your health and your mental well-being as well. You're letting them take another part of your life. Like, they've taken enough, and you're allowing them now your energy and your mental and physical well-being. Why give them anything else? you know. And I had to think of it like that, because I wasn't thinking of it like that before. I was thinking like, you know what, I'm gonna be mad and I'm gonna let this person know I'm mad, and I'm gonna be like this, I'm gonna be like that. And really, sometimes the people may care, but really, what do you get out of that? Okay, they say they care. That still don't change what they did, and you still gonna be mad. Even if they show you they care or they tell you they care, you still gonna be mad. So it doesn't even matter, you know. Like, do it for yourself. If you don't want to forgive them for them, forgive for God and forgive for yourself, so that you can, you know. And it's true, when you do forgive, it literally, it feels like a whole burden is lifted off your chest. Like, you literally feel refreshed, you really feel new, and you really feel empowered, because you feel like you're out of bondage finally. Like, you know what, this person's not going to keep me down any longer. They've done enough. So those are just some things that you can do, some practical steps and spiritual steps that you can do to help you forgive. Understand it's a process. Everybody forgives at a different rate, but you know, just be real intentional about forgiving. You know, don't keep putting it off. Don't keep holding anger and grudges and being mad, because let me tell you, if something happens to that person one day, say it's somebody close to you that you cared about, and you guys just fell out, and it was just a stupid reason. It wasn't even really a real reason, you know. If something happens to that person, you gonna feel bad. You gonna feel some type of way. You gonna look up and think, you know what, it wasn't even really worth all that. Like, was it worth me being mad? What did we even fall out about? Half the time you don't even know why you mad, or you holding a grudge, or why you're unforgiving. You don't even know. That's the cold part about it. You wasted so much time holding on to something. You don't even know what you're holding on to, you know. Sometimes it's something traumatic, and sometimes it's something that is petty, and you mad and you don't even know why you mad. And you look up and that person is gone, and then you want to forgive. Then you feel remorse. Then you think, why didn't I appreciate this person while they were here? Why did I allow this to, you know, this little situation to come between us? It ain't even worth nothing. It ain't even about nothing. I don't even know why I'm angry, you know. And it's a quote, I don't remember, but basically was saying like, bring roses to people while they can smell them, or while they're, I don't know how the quote goes. Somebody out there, y'all know how the quote is, but basically it's saying, don't wait till somebody passes away to bring them flowers and show your condolences. Show people you appreciate them while they're alive, while they can smell the roses. That's you know, that's what that means. So again, I'm in the car. This might have been kind of all over the place, but you know, I just pray this touches somebody, and you know, take bits and pieces which you think can apply to you. And if right now you harboring any, you know, bitterness or anger toward anybody, please, you know, take these steps in mind. These are things that I've actually applied, and these are things that have really helped me come a long way, because I was good for holding grudges and, you know, wanting to be petty, and it's stupid. It gets you nowhere. So really take these things into mind. You know, let's pass these tips to our children, because this next generation is just, you know, it's getting crazy. So let's practice these tips ourselves. Let's set an example for our children, so that our children can be healthy and whole spiritually and physically. And you know, if there's somebody you mad at, if it was somebody you was thinking about while you was watching this video, and you feel like, you know what, it wasn't even that serious, let me just reach out, or let me send a text, or let me, you know, even if we don't become friends, let me just let this person know I'm thinking about them, or whatever. I encourage you to go ahead and do it today. Don't wait till tomorrow, because the way this world is now and how crazy things is, we don't want to put it off. So yeah, that's pretty much my message for today, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care.